Three, two, one. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Jason J. Daniels Show. We're going live election night coverage. A lot of stuff's gone down already in the big elections on the East Coast. You probably already know a lot of. Oops, almost dropped my phone. You probably know a lot of the results already. I'm just here to talk about what's going on. I may have a special guest or so for the show. Again, thanks for watching. My name is Jason J. Daniel. It's the Jason J. Daniel Show. Please follow me everywhere on the internet. Real Jason J. Daniel on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Really appreciate that. If you're watching on Rumble, I appreciate that as well. My name is Jason J. Daniel. I'm your host. What a crazy night and a big night for the Democrats. Pretty clear that the Democrat Party has a lot to be excited about, thankful for, I suppose, if you're looking for a change in the momentum and the wave. Now, of course, Trump and the Republicans are going to say this is not a big deal. It's a blip on the radar. I kind of think a communist socialist being the mayor of New York City is a big fucking deal. That's just me. Call me crazy. And I think it plays into a lot of different narratives on the left and the right. Everybody is going to have their opinion as to why it's a great thing. We'll talk about it. Um, is Proposition 50 going to pass? I think it's going to benefit some folks that you don't want it to benefit. And I think it's going to not benefit some folks you want it to benefit. I don't think it's even going to be implemented, in my opinion, if it passes. We'll go online and take a look at some of the results. In California, it is 6:34 according to my iPhone. And so we don't necessarily have the results yet. I hope you voted if you're in California. I have some information on that. I have somebody who's going to go out in the streets. So we may bring that person on in a few mementos. So we'll see about that. If that, and here's some other conversations. If 50 passes, is Kevin Kiley cooked? Now, Kevin Kiley, District 3, Northern California, he is the guy who was Gavin Newsom's nemesis. And I think one of the reasons why Gavin did this thing was to get Kevin Kiley out of Congress, and that is a strong possibility. But you never know. We still gotta play these things out. That's another concern. It's another question. There's some theories around that. I predicted Jay Jones will lose Virginia. That's not looking likely. In fact, the numbers look actually good for Jay Jones, which could be a staggering thing to think about it. I don't want to actually think about it. I want to try to pretend it's not real, because that is a bad thing for Democrats and a bad sign for children. Honestly, the guy hates children. It's bad for everybody when somebody with that kind of scandal gets elected. And if he wins, hopefully it's not by a huge margin, because if it is, I'm going to feel really weird about that. Honestly, it's going to be hard for me to shake the fact. I already believe that the Democrat Party, the fringe party, I believed that the lunatics, let's just call them the lunatics, I believed that they would support Jay Jones, because there's a lot of people that in the death cult that really get off on that. Sorry, Democrats, you have that fringe. Okay, we all have our fringes. So that was a concern. But if he wins, we're not talking about the fringe voters voting for him. We're talking about, I guess, average Democrats voting for him, which is a whole different concern for me. It is wild. So we'll talk about that tonight. Big news. They're saying Mamdani has won. They're saying he has won the election for mayor. They're already calling it. It's wild. If you look at the numbers, he had like an 8-point margin the entire time they were counting, but it looks like they're calling it all over the internet. Not a shock, but it's going to be a shock to New York. It really is going to be a shock. That's interesting, man. We'll talk about it. I don't normally get a lot of chats from you guys that are watching, but if you're down to chat me, it's all good. Feel free. Wherever you're watching. Now, we're streaming live on YouTube. We're streaming live on Rumble. We're streaming live on X. So you can chat and respond, and I can look and I will periodically look. I can see any of the chats that come through. We're also on Twitch, by the way. We are also on Twitch. So there you go. So that's interesting. We're going to talk about that. And there you go. There's your prep, guys, election results. I'm going to send an email and bring on, see if my special guest wants to come on. And we'll go from there. Let me look at my drafts while I'm doing that because I have to email. There's a way that we bring folks on. So let's talk about 50. We haven't seen the results, but I'll tell you some of the anecdotal things that I've heard. Have people reaching out to me. Mindy Petchenuk was on earlier. This is my second stream today. And let me see here. Link. I'm going to put PM. Sorry, guys. I'll do this PM link. All right, sending that because we have to send a link to get our folks in. Okay, so Mindy Petchenuk was on earlier today. She said that there are folks in Fremont that were voting, and she showed us a picture of folks in that's on the edge of the Bay Area. If you're not in California, Fremont, and it was like a line of people at the polling station. I have somebody who reached out to me about an hour ago who very strong, good source. This person went to drop their ballot off and saw about 100 people in and out, and it was a long line. In fact, one family left. They're like, we can't wait, because I guess it was like an hour wait to even when you get inside, and this person to actually vote, because so we're talking about the people there to vote now tonight. And that person, now they have till 8 o'clock in California. This is a Northern California person. That person saw somebody in their family take their family and leave and go, we're going to get something to eat and we're going to come back, which is cool. Right. So it is, it's a busy night in everywhere. People are voting, and I think a lot of mail-in ballots obviously came in. Now, from the numbers that we were seeing, I had to send a text, guys. From the numbers that we were seeing, and I'm also going to make sure we gotta do a quick little sound check. From the numbers we were seeing for sorry about that, wrong video. I have so many videos going. Here we go. There we go. That's me. Okay, so I am my own. What do you call it? Producer. So from what we are hearing from 50, everybody's saying 50 is just a slam dunk. It's going to automatically pass. What does that mean? We'll talk about that. I did a show 2 weeks ago that talked about what I think will happen because of that if 50 passes. You know, it's really interesting. I got about 4 or 5 flyers for 50. I just re-registered as a Republican, and I was an independent, and now I'm a Republican. In fact, I made a little mistake on my online application. I forget what I did. Oh, I put that. Oh, I accidentally put I was overseas. Weird how I did that. And they called me the next day. It was really cool. They called me and said, "Hey, we don't think you're overseas. We think you made a mistake." And I said, "Oh yeah, thank you." And they corrected it, and I'm all good. My red, so cool on them. So I feel really comfortable and happy with my county. They got me straight. So I got my new ballot, good to go. And I did my duty. And it was only in California, there was only one thing on the ballot, which was 50. And to me, that's not democracy to me. To call a special election when you could do it next year, right? When you could take your time. Now I believe that Gavin Newsom was really anticipating low voter turnout. And there are more Democrats than Republicans in California. So that's a slam dunk for him. Anything he can jam through the legislature because he owns them. Gavin Newsom owns the machine. He owns everybody in California. It's something you have to accept. And you just have to go, it is what it is until we can get this lame duck out of here. We have to deal with this kind of stuff, these shenanigans. So he did something that's super disrespectful. He jammed it through. So you obviously know how I feel about 50. He jammed it through, got it on the ballot with mistakes and all these things. So what is interesting is that they are not really, I don't think they were concerned about turnout, but I think the turnout is higher than I think they had anticipated, because there's a lot of people who are automatically, I'll say this because I live in California, for Republicans, they're automatically Gavin Newsom is evil. I don't know a Republican that has a favorable opinion of him. That's a moderately favorable. Like, he is on the we are sick of him spectrum because of all the things he did to us in California. I am an actor. I'm a former hairdresser. I'm an entrepreneur. I've had and that's not my only businesses, right? I'm one of those guys. I have my hands in a lot of cookie jars, right? And I know people in different industries, and they've all been upset at him because of what he's done to, and especially the gig economy. Gavin Newsom hates the gig economy. The legislature in California, they hate that the gig economy because it's harder to tax them. So they've done all sorts of things in the last 5 years to make it really hard for people to hustle and make money without getting crushed. And on top of the outrageous gas prices and energy prices in this state, higher than any other state by far. I mean, sure, you might find some outliers in Texas or something, but it's the most egregiously taxed state, and they come after you like the Gestapo. It's out of control. So when it comes to people having an opinion of Gavin Newsom, now Democrats love the hell out of him and Republicans don't. So there's a huge divide. He is a divider. He is the executive divider of California. I could go on forever. It is crazy to me that, first of all, that Gavin Newsom never worked a job in his life, never worked a real job, never broke a sweat working a job like anybody else because he grew up with a lot of money. He's a Nepo baby, and he was financed through his entire political career. He's had his back scratched. He's a political animal. And now what is he, 55 or something? Now it's the end game. So he has to do everything he can to do two things. One, make Nancy Pelosi happy. And two, because he's indebted to her and it's the relationship's weird, whatever. And two, he needs to do whatever he can to cash these chips in and try to run for president. And that's what this is all about, in my opinion. So sorry, I had a text that came through. I'm going to check. Oh, cool. My guest is going to come on. We're going to have a good time. So let's jump to some of let's jump to New York. Let's go right there to the New York election results. Interesting stuff. I'm on abcnews.com. Let me refresh it because I think they've already called again. I think they've called the race for him. We're not going to play the video at the moment, but that's going to play there for you. So yeah, ABC News. You can follow along at home if you'd like. Interesting. So Cuomo is the O party. What is that? Independent, outgoing. You're out. And then Mamdani, who's really a socialist, a communist. Some people say it's two different things. Whatever. To me, it's the same fucking thing. The ideology of communism is something that a lot of young people just don't really understand. And so he's under 30, maybe even under 40. So he's really just taking advantage of a lot of moronic young people. Send me your comments and tell me I'm wrong, whatever. But this is lunatic stuff. So Cuomo, who is a really terrible candidate, he's coming in at 8%. When you look at the total votes, they've only counted under a million or a little over a million. Let's see what ABC says here. Election results. Mamdani is projected the winner in history-making victory. Interesting to me. What is interesting is ABC News is not overdoing the headline. That's a legit fact-based headline. It is historic. It really is historic. What is interesting, what I saw all day online, which is wild, is a lot of Jewish Americans, Jewish accounts on social media going really hard against Mamdani and his radical views against Israel and a lot of the things he has said, right? And they're even like dropping clips of 9/11, right? Wild stuff. It's interesting to me because I'm wondering why if they were going to go negative like that, why they didn't do it 2 weeks ago. I don't know if they thought that would be a shock and awe. I have a feeling a lot of the people that voted for him already made up their minds, and they're not paying attention to any social media accounts that are going to give them 9/11 videos. And really, 9/11 is so long ago. We have to be honest, I think, and understand that, for someone in their 40s and 50s and 60s, 70s, that affects you still. You still think about it. It's almost like a reverential thing, right? You feel it because you lived it, right? And the thought that someone that might be connected to the Muslim religion or not be the traditional type of a candidate, the thought that a person cut from that that template would be the mayor of New York in 20-ish years, that's mind blowing. And then the fact that it's proven he has friendships with people who celebrated 9/11, or in some cases, and I don't want to speak out of turn because I don't know all the, I don't know all the, I guess, the facts, but he has photos with people that were possibly implicated. They were investigated for being collaborators in the 9/11 attack. And but you would think that even the hint of being connected or having a conversation would with someone like that would be a deal breaker for people. Not only was he having photo ops, but he was celebrating it, and they're excited, and he's fearless. He is fearless. So this is a campaign that'll be studied for quite some time. How this happened. And so here we go. So here's a little bit of the breakdown of the votes. And yeah, he's still solid at polls. Close at 9 p.m. They closed 49 minutes ago. And they're, again, ABC, they're declaring him the winner. Let's see what CBS is saying. We'll go to CBS. Let's see here. CBS. Okay, here we go. They're giving him the win right here. So CBS has projected Mamdani wins the mayor of New York. It's unbelievable. It's a mixed bag for me. It's a mixed bag for me because he promised a lot of things that are impossible, and everybody knows it. And people will still believe in politics. People will still believe a lie, and they'll ignore the lie, and they'll vote, because they're voting for the person, or they're voting for the ideology. And in this case, I'm not in New York. I'm not a New Yorker, but I've been there a number of times. I can tell you that, I'll just say this: if you've never been to Manhattan, if you've never been to Queens, if you've never been to Brooklyn, and I'm not trying to say I'm some, New York expert, but there's just a feeling. There's a vibe. There's a thing, right? And to me, it is interesting that I never thought that they would embrace socialism like this. I just never thought that. But it's a new time. It's a new world. So CBS says Democrats sweep the major races in New York, Virginia, Mamdani, Spanberger, Cheryl's in New Jersey. So yeah, so it's pretty much a almost a sweep. It's looking fantastic for the Democrats in these elections. And why are these important? Why me, a California guy? Why do I even care? Right? Why is this important to me? Well, it's just important because because of what these candidates represented, and the fact that they are being ushered in, especially with the nationwide spotlight on them. In a lot in the past, a lot of elections, no one would care about lieutenant governor of Virginia, right? Nationwide, just Virginia would. No one would care about attorney general, right? The J. Jones race, right? And he's looking good, right? They're saying CBS News rates Virginia's attorney general race as leaning Democratic, signaling that Jay Jones could overcome a scandal that plagued his campaign. That's looking solid. And we'll break down some of these races, but just in general, why should anyone care that's not there, right? Well, one, if you're a Democrat, it should be exciting for you. You should be super amped, because these candidates represent everything that mainstream America doesn't represent. And they may tell you they do, but they absolutely don't. When you study the candidates, you're going to see all of these candidates, the Virginia candidates, New York, clearly, they're all radical left ideology candidates. They're not mainstream. There's no mainstream person voting for let's just say Spanberger, for example. She looks out of all of them, she seems like the most like squeaky, right? The most okay. She worked for the government. She was a teacher of, I guess, English and like I can't speak out of term, but it was like Kuwait or so, I don't know. It was one of the countries that we send spies to in the Middle East. She says that she would compromise, that she's a moderate. She's absolutely not a moderate. But they overwhelmingly voted for her because her opponent is just a jackass. Honestly, the rumors are the worst candidate ever, low energy. Her debate was okay until she said two of the most craziest things I've ever heard a candidate say, other than Joe Biden and Tim Walz saying he's a friend of school shooters, and Joe Biden, losing his mind and saying all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. Those were terrible moments. But when in the debate against Winston, I'm sorry, the debate against Spanberger, Winston Earl Sears, when they were going back and forth, Sears said that discrimination against gay and lesbian workers in the workplace or to not allow them to marry, she said that's not discrimination. It's absolute discrimination. So she said, I don't know if she meant to say that, but it was almost like she doubled down. So when I watched that, I was like, how does anybody really, how does a moderate vote for that? Right. Her presentation, like physically, they got all sorts of flyers and pictures of her just looking disheveled. And the rumors were Trump hates her, right? That's why he didn't really intervene. And also, she was so behind in the polls. The only life she had was when Jay Jones, his scandal broke, and then it became this wave, right? Maybe the Republicans can take a victory here. Now, this is a heavily blue state. It's a heavily blue. It's so no one is really shocked, right? But people were hopeful. Republicans had some hope because uh, Spanberger to me is a dangerous candidate. She's a deep stater. She's a CIA operative. She worked for the CIA. She was a spy for the CIA. She was part of destabilizing the Middle East. And so let's make that person. I can see this is what they do. So for me, we're getting no fresh blood here. We're just getting another operative in the governorship of Virginia, but it is what it is. So there's that race. So it is what it is. I mean, I really wanted her to lose just because of what she represented, but not happening. So they're talking about in here. CBS News talks about Spanberger and this little blog thing here. These are kind of outdated how they do this. It used to be like a blog style would be big, but it's not the best way to go. They have the live mayoral election results. This is the older stuff here. Trump campaign co-manager said a bad candidate and a bad campaign have consequences. See, that's interesting, and I think this is part of the story. Is that and this is what you have to take away if you're a Democrat. You have to be really sober when I tell you this and think. Well, most of you watching are probably not sober. It's 6 foot. It's Miller time. But what I mean is, you have to have a sober mindset when I tell you this. That Trump and the Trump machine were the best campaign machines in history. Let's be real, right? Political operations in history. They didn't try. They didn't try. The Republicans didn't try because they knew that she was not a good candidate. In fact, before the Jay Jones scandal broke, they were going to let her lose. And I think Trump is, look, he's on the revenge tour. He's on the Taylor Swift revenge tour of his own, and he's in it. I think we're looking at a president who will let you just live with the consequences of not being on board with the Trump administration. He's taking no prisoners. And I think he's learning. This is how the Democrat Party's done it for years. They took no prisoners when Obama was running against Hillary in the primaries. When the Democrat Party when the machine decided Obama is going to be the guy, they went after Hillary behind the scenes. They did everything they could to take her out at the knees. They were relentless. Their own party was relentless. Look how they fixed their own primary with Kamala Harris. They were relentless when Joe Biden, when it was time for him to step aside for power. They were relentless. When Bernie Sanders looked like he could take Hillary out in the 16 primary, yeah, right, 16 primary, the Hillary Clinton regime completely rigged everything in the primary to take him out. Bernie Sanders never recovered. He'll never get close to the White House. But that was the closest shot he had. So Democrats have learned, or Republicans are learning the lesson that Democrats have taught us, or us, I'll say now because I'm a Republican, is that you cannot take any prisoners, one, which Trump's not, and you can't tolerate weakness in your party. You have to be lockstep. Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, they were very iron fisted, right? Lockstep. They get older, they start, floundering. A lot of the old guard leaves, and the Democrat Party was extremely vulnerable. But also by trying to run Biden, and then they took it too far. So there's always a point where it will backlash on you, and you'll take stuff too far. But the Trump campaign clearly stayed out of it. The Trump administration stayed out of it. So this quote here is interesting to me when it comes to Winsome Earl Sears. And also, here's another thing to understand. She is an incumbent lieutenant governor now. And she still lost big. And it's hard to beat. And now she wasn't an incumbent in the election she was running for, but she was closest thing to it. Gavin Newsom was a lieutenant governor, and then he, ran for governor and essentially walked in, because that name recognition helps. You are an incumbent. So it's a huge feat to beat somebody that has an incumbent power, not full incumbent power, but incumbent power. It's huge to do that, and it's huge to do it in the way that Spanberger did it, with the power of the Trump machine. I mean, coming off of the huge election victory. So in this article, a veteran GOP strategist, co-manager of Trump's 2024 campaign, Chris Lascivia, okay, this person knows what this person is talking about, reacted with harsh words for the Republican. Right? So for Democrats to say that Republicans just let Trump do whatever, or they let Republicans do whatever, that's not true. The Republican Party, and this is one of the reasons why I joined the Republican Party, is they will have it out. They will go hard on each other. They will hold each other accountable. And so, but also I think what's important is winning is important. And the Democrats know that. They're figuring that back out. They're figuring it out. And they lost sight of that because they were so used to winning, especially with Biden. And the way that happened, I think they really overplayed it. And then the January 6th hoax, and they really thought they took Trump out. And then all of the, you were there, but they overplayed it. Now, the conservatives could overplay it too, but the Democrats have figured it out. And I think that's why it's important. I did a little Gavin there. That's why it's important to look at these races today as these races, the candidates, as a little bit of a stage show for the midterms, a little dress rehearsal. But look, Mamdani, socialist, wins. Spanberger, CIA operative, deep state. Jay Jones, an unhinged maniac who clearly has a habit of threatening murder to win elections. These are three really bad candidates if you were running them nationwide, but they're not. They knew they needed to, all these campaigns knew that if they had just tweaked it, got much more radical, they could lock down the blue areas. And this is what you're seeing. You're seeing a victory for the Democrats in the sense that they had a real concern about locking even blues down because they lost a lot of territory to Trump in the election. And that was earth shattering for them. So this is great news. But here's the bad news. In order to do that, they have completely moved left to me, but this would be left to you watching, but so far left that it's hard to come back. For example, Mamdani is a socialist. How do you come back? You can't just not be a socialist, right? So, and he's another Nepo guy. He's never worked a real job. So Democrats love that. They love young, unhinged, candidates who have never really worked a job in their life, who have that like that that elitist thing. They love that. Somehow Democrats gravitate towards that. I don't understand it. And then obviously he has a lot of charisma. So we'll get into him a little bit. But back to Winston Earl Sears. This Trump cat says bad candidate, bad campaign have consequences. He put that on X. The Virginia governor's race is example number one. So for all the future candidates going into the midterms, and there apparently it's not going to be as critical for the Republicans as they thought, because a lot of the races that are going to be contestable are not that far out of hand. They're looking ahead already, and this is how it works. Anything can happen. I mean, if some kind of scandal breaks or something, or certain things get out of control in the messaging, especially with the shutdown, which the messaging is just really bad. And I don't understand how the Republicans don't care, but it is what it is. It's just bad. But look, it's a civil war as far as politics are concerned. So they're not, no, neither side's going to give an inch. But back to what happened with Winsome Earl Sears, it is definitely an example for future Republicans that, one, you have to get on board with Trump. You've got to, because he has the power. Just by not doing anything, that takes you out. It's not just Trump campaigning against you, which he has done and he will do, and he'll do a lot of that. He'll post a truth social, just trying to take your legs out, and it will affect your campaign because he's so popular. He is so popular. You may not think that's a true statement, but Donald Trump is extremely popular in the sense that the world moves when he does a thing. So by simply not doing a thing, Trump can end your candidacy. And that's what happened with Winsome Earl Sears. Like, I wasn't quite aware of that election because I don't pay a lot of attention. And I was really fired up after the Jay Jones thing, and then it became a thing for me. And I'm like, hey, this is a movement. This is a thing for all of us to pay attention to. My special guest is going to jump on. Bringing on my special guest. So we'll let her get her sound and her video set up. But yeah, so I was fired up and motivated. But apparently the nationwide apparatus wasn't. They were raising more money, but not enough. And then hopefully I didn't hit the wrong thing. I might have, hopefully I didn't reject you. Sorry about that. I'm going to text, let me text her again. Hold on. Please try again. I might have rejected you. uh, Okay, I'm gonna send that. I thought I hit go, but maybe I didn't. So a lot of moving parts here. So thanks for watching, guys, on Twitch. Let me take a little commercial here. This is the Jason J. Daniel Show. If you're just watching me randomly on the internet, my name is Jason J. Daniel. Please let me try this here. Let me manage. Let me see if she's stuck in here in the green room. Nope, not in the green room. Please follow me if you can. Please, the call to action is follow me on YouTube and Rumble. Almost at 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please, if you follow me, I'd really appreciate that. So we're just talking. There's a subscription banner for you right there. Boom. So we're live on Twitch. Thanks for watching. I can see you guys. We're live on Rumble. Thank you for watching. And on X, the old X platform. Let me see here. So, or maybe she had a technical difficulty. So anyway, that's why that race was significant. Let's see what. Let's see. Okay, so it's 7:00. We might stream till 8. I'm not sure, but we might stay on till 8 to see what they say about 50. Let me show you something really quick here. I'm going to go to the Secretary of State for California. This is where you're going to get the results. Nothing posted yet. Nothing posted yet. So I just want to show you. It's called 50, the congressional redistricting. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna post once 8:00 happens, because they've been counting all the ballots in the counties since the mail-in ballots have shown up. And if you're not aware of this, if you're watching this, you probably are. They're going to drop whatever they've counted already. Boom. Now that won't be anything from tonight. If you did your mail-in ballot tonight, oh, hold on, here we go. If you did your mail-in ballot tonight, um, that's not counted until a couple of days, maybe a week. Sometimes it takes time. But if you've already voted and they've already counted it, your vote will show up right at 8:05 or whatever. Boom. So we'll have a dump. Um, if the oh, there we go. Mindy, can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Can you hear me?
I can. We have our special guest, Mindy. I know everyone was shocked. I'm like, I set you up as the special guest, and they're like, it's always Mindy. But it's a lot of fun. So, all right, I'll stop sharing. Mindy, I was just talking
Okay.
about 50. You got the
Okay.
gear on. Look at that. You got the headset. I
Yeah,
like that.
I'm walking to the ROV, the Register of Voters. We just parked our car.
Perfect. Okay,
So
so
when I go
this will be great.
when I go into the ROV, I will have to not surrender my phone, but I have to go through the metal detectors.
No, well,
So
uh, if
disconnection for a few minutes.
well, see, it's Alameda County, right?
Yeah, Alameda County ROV in downtown Oakland.
If okay, then you're surrendering everything. All right. So
Yeah,
it's actually a surrender.
yeah. Well, actually, if you go and look at they actually, I can use my phone in the building, but if I try to go and see any of the election processing, they make you lock up your phone.
Oh, okay. They say okay. They put you in the penalty box. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
definitely try to get in trouble for us. That'll be fun. Not for you, but for us, for
Yeah.
the internet. But yeah,
Okay.
JK, just kidding. So since I got you on, I was just talking about 50. So perfect timing. What do you see as you're walking in? Anything like what is visually when you get
Well,
close?
well, we're getting close to the building. The sheriffs are all out. They're waiting for the uh, mail-in ballot drops from the in-person voting too, from the surrounding precinct, no, the vote centers they're called now,
Okay,
vote
right.
centers to come in, which will start at 8 o'clock. We will have some of our people out there as the bags come in from the various vote centers to monitor the process to see what's going on and to make sure everything is kosher as we can be. And then I'll be on the inside. I don't know how much I'll be able to use my phone asking questions of
Okay.
some of the registrar officials because I have some questions I need to ask them, like tomorrow, what time are you going to be opening up the plus mail? And for those,
Oh no.
that's the mail that
Okay.
they allow to be counted for a week after the election, as long as it's supposed to be postmarked for November 4th. Now, when I've done post mail observance in the past, you see a lot of ballots going through and being counted that have no postmark on them.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so that raises an interesting question. Now, they have their so called reason for this, which is they say, well, there's a special marking that is there from the post office, but I haven't been able to see that special marking.
Oh, I see. So
And
they're saying it's postmarked. You just can't see it with the naked eye or something.
yeah, there's supposed to be some kind of screening mechanism. Then the second
Interesting.
thing is last year when we would ask them, uh, when are you going to, do the plus mail? We don't know when we're going to do it because we don't know when the mail is coming in. Meanwhile, previous years they always were able to say, "Be here at 9:30. That's when we're going to open the plus mail." So
I
my
see.
question today, to the ROV, is going to be, what time starting tomorrow are you going to be opening the plus mail? Because we want to come down and observe the plus mail process.
I love that.
So
Okay. That's good to know.
yeah, so this is we have a team here from our ITACA, which is Election Integrity Team Alameda County,
Ooh, I love that.
and which I'm part of, and one of the founders of. So we'll have a group of us down here at the ROV. This is where all the one downtown Registrar of Voters is where they bring all the ballots from all the surrounding cities. I had a report earlier from my friends in Fremont, which is part of Alameda County, that the lines were very long for voting. People were coming in to vote. They had very long lines there.
Yeah, actually, I had somebody reach out to me. I at the top of the show, I mentioned it. About 100 people in and out of the in Northern California, and people were. It was like a 2 hour wait, a 1 to 2 hour wait to actually vote
Right.
now. So interesting. So my thought was the Democrats may be concerned that maybe voter turnout's not as suppressed as they thought. I
Yeah.
got so I have a question. So
We
you're
got to go this
saying
way.
you're gonna watch the ballots being delivered? Like, what is that process? Do you stand outside and watch the trucks pull? How does
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah. Here's what happens, and I'm about to go into the
Okay.
building, but I'll stay outside for a minute to answer the question
Okay.
because I can talk when I'm in the building, but I just have to go through the metal detectors. So
Got
I
it.
have to put my phone through the metal detector. So what happens is after the polls close at 8 o'clock, you have all these cars. Some of them are private cars, but they're supposed to have an official badge in the window of a car, a number. Sometimes they do, and sometimes, as we've observed for other elections, they have not. But that's where all the cars come into, where they bring the bags and bags and bags from all the vote centers throughout Alameda County. And then they take these bags, they put them in like a big bin, and they have these young people called runners who then take the big bins and run them into the actual building. Once they're in the building, this is where the question of what happens tomorrow.
I see.
Because tomorrow, and often they say to us, well, there's going to be no activity tomorrow. And then you look on their observer thing and they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's where they're supposed to take these bags and then open them up and begin the process of putting them through. This is why I don't like vote by mail. For many reasons, I don't like it. But one is people have to understand when you vote by mail, your ballot, okay, gets put in the mail, then it comes into the vote ROV where I am. Then they have people who open the envelopes and they take out your ballot and sort it from the envelope you put it in. Then that goes through there's a signature verifying process. There's another process that goes through, which is if they see the signatures so-called match, they put that through then a tabulator, which actually tabulates the vote. Now, if the signatures don't match or there's a problem with the ballot, like it's got a coffee stain on it and won't go through the computer, then that goes to adjudication.
It's set
And
aside. Okay.
set aside, it goes through another process called adjudication, where then they try to look at your ballot and see what's wrong. Then they try to remake your ballot so they can put it through again. It's in other words, it's not like going, and this is why I always vote by paper ballot, where you go in, you get a paper ballot, you mark the paper ballot, it goes into the trolley, and then that goes right into the tabulator. So you don't have all these middlemen.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So there's so many things that could go wrong
Yeah,
with mail-in voting versus go right. That makes sense?
exactly.
Wow.
Including the fact that they count mail-in ballots a week after. And this is why President Trump is so against mail-in balloting, which is absolutely right. Beside the fact they can feed in mail-in ballots in that extra week, you can stuff, mail-in ballot boxes with all kinds of things,
Yeah,
ballots that,
a lot of shenanigans
yeah,
yeah, you're right. That's why going in and doing it in person is the best way. I agree.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the metal detector.
Okay.
And then I can pick you up on the other side. Now, once I go into where they do the voting, they tell me to shut down my phone, but I can always go out in the hall because
Sounds
there
good.
won't be much going on for at least till 8 o'clock. And one last point I'll make, my husband Gerald was telling me about it. See, there's going to be a lot of court cases around this, including the one that President Trump talked about this morning.
Yeah.
Also, when Newsome rammed this redistricting through, violating the Constitution of the state, violating the fact that we have mandated independent redistricting commission. When the courts rejected it, the court case against accepting what Newsome did in the beginning, they never said why they rejected it. And so they've left themselves open in very many places for this to really be fought. So, it's the fact that you had a lot of people voting in person. As I'm standing here, I see all these people coming out who just are voting right now at the last minute here in the vote center. And I know in Sacramento, there was a report I heard on the news that if you go to vote by your mail-in ballot just to drop it off, you didn't have to stand in the line. If you wanted to vote in person, you had to stand in the line. And there was a long line in Sacramento for people who wanted to vote in person. And that's exactly right. That's a good sign. And my husband's telling me something to tell you.
Okay.
And yeah, they also, my husband's saying they cut down the number of voting centers. So that's also creating the long line.
That makes a lot of sense. Gerald always has like the perfect addition to the conversation.
Yeah,
okay, well,
I'll have to tell.
Yeah, please do. He's my hero.
I don't know if I have to sign off.
That's okay. How about this? I'll let you go so you can do your thing and then jump back on whenever you can.
Great.
I'll go past 8:00. If you don't jump on and I'm going to wrap, I'll text you and then we can talk tomorrow as well.
Perfect.
But yeah, so do your thing. Don't worry about us, but I'll be here if you want to jump back on.
Okay, I will want to do if I can. Okay, great, Jason. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right, so there it is. Our correspondent out in the streets. Take it to the streets like Doobie Brothers. It's Mindy. Mindy is just a powerhouse, man. She's dropping knowledge right there. I mean, she told us a lot of stuff on while she's walking on the run, right? Trying to do so many things and multitask. Really great info about how that works. The whole conversation about mail-in ballots or ballots, whether you take it down or mail it in. What she just said was extremely powerful. And the takeaway, I think, is if you are really concerned about your vote not getting disrupted, go down and vote in person. That's the only way to do it. If you don't mind that there could be, or take your ballot and drop it, take your mail-in ballot, which is what I did. I drove down and I drop it in the drop thing, right? So they have it ahead of time because it is convenient in a lot of ways for me to have the ballot come to me. Like, for example, if I was going to vote today and try to do the show because I wanted to do a podcast, it would have been tricky, right, for me to go do that and make the podcast. So I take advantage of mail-in ballot voting, but I do it early and get it in only because it's convenient. Well, when I say mail-in, I don't mail it, I drive it down. And that's the distinction. Getting your ballot early in the mail is not a big deal. That's something they did for absentee forever. It's just they're making everybody absentee now, essentially. And that it is what it is. It's the world we live in. But if you really are concerned, like a lot of us traditionalists, very concerned about your vote counting and getting it early, just go drop it early, right? Drop it in the designated places. But some of you like that experience of going and voting. I mean, I've done it for years. I've never missed a vote, right? Just like most of you, and you love that experience, then cool, do that. That's great. But on a night like this, you're going to have long lines. And Gerald was great. That was very pithy and cogent to add that in the conversation that there are less election centers throughout the nation. Throughout California. A lot of it has to do with the fact that it was a fast election and it's not how it used to be, right? There's more security. There's more things that you need to do to open up an election. They want people that have done it before. There's all these rules. So I'm not going to say that California was rigging it on purposely cutting that down. I'm just thinking if they had given it some more time, there would have been more election centers that would have been more convenient. But so it could be a sign of more turnout, which I think it is from what I'm hearing. or it could be a sign of just the natural math, right? More the same amount of people, less ways to input that vote. So from reports we're getting, Alameda County seems like turnout is high. Fremont, from what Mindy's hearing, I'm hearing in Northern California. She's hearing that on the radio. They're saying in Sacramento County, longer lines. I can attest to that. Earlier tonight, I was driving and went past a polling center. I saw a lot of activity myself. So I think that's something that is for California, is a thing. So before Mindy jumped on, I was just talking about the Secretary of State. Now, every county has their own website. If you're ever interested in this, you can go right to the county websites and then to the state websites to look at election results, but they don't drop them until the polls close. Now, right now it's 7:23 in California, and so we're really close to the 8 o'clock drop. I'm going to probably stay on till 8 o'clock, and because the only thing we don't have settled in this big election night is Proposition 50. And like I said earlier, Proposition 50 is interesting to me. It's an interesting animal because I've gotten feedback from more than one source that if it doesn't pass, it's no big deal. If it passes, it's not a big deal, and it may benefit some people that you may not think it would benefit. I'm hearing that. Another interesting fact is that Kevin Kiley in District 3, the guy who's always in California District 3, the guy who's always been attacking Newsome, he didn't raise the money he promised to raise. So we'll get into that in a second and talk about how Proposition 50 failed a lot of people, or was failed by a lot of people down the line who said that they would commit to really pushing this. Now, when it was first announced, we all thought, there's no way Gavin Newsom can win this. One, he's unpopular. Two, it seems like a scam. It seems like it's rigged. Why would anybody go with this? But we underestimated Gavin Newsom, and unfortunately, I'm learning to not underestimate Gavin. And there, I have to be honest. I might have Gavin derangement syndrome. I might I might have Jds, because I can't stand that dude. And I'm trying. It's actually affecting me a little bit to where I want to pay attention to what he's doing. I think it's important because obviously I talk about it, and it's important to me. But I kind of find myself not wanting to hear him when he opens his mouth. I'm just like, oh my god, he's the terrifier to me. Forget the horror movie; it's him. But speaking of Gavin and Kevin Kiley, District 3 Congressperson. His district is really weird. It runs right around Sacramento, the outskirts of Sacramento, which is very red and weird. Sacramento itself is very blue, right? Downtown. And if you know, I used to have a business there, so I know Sacramento so well. It's like I was born there, so it's my place. It's very blue in the middle, but on the outskirts, it's red in a lot of ways, right? And then there's the district runs down the side of the state, which is crazy, into Central California. It's just odd. It's like shaped like a weird banana. That's the best way to put it. The change is that there's 5, I think, Republicans that are going to be stressed by this redistricting if they even get to it, because as Mindy said earlier, there's lawsuits that are going to happen. So I don't even think that 50 is going to actually, I don't think it's going to see the light of day. So maybe Kevin Kiley and others are safe, but who knows? But they're already working to run somebody against him who's a pretty popular Democrat in California, Sacramento area. So Kevin Kiley is the one that he's the one, his district's going to be affected the most because that banana I was saying, like the outside, and I may show it, we can pull it up here, but the outside, you got Sacramento, and then think of it as a rainbow of red, and you got Sacramento underneath that rainbow, right? The horseshoe. They're going to take away that red rainbow and make it a reverse rainbow underneath Sacramento and down into downtown side, and then a little bit down further where it's just blue. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very blue. So he's pretty much cooked. So if that happens, is he cooked? Now that I'm seeing that there's going to be lawsuits probably filed, the Supreme Court has a suit that they're looking at. That in I believe in 2 weeks, that if they rule on this, it's for I think Louisiana or something. If they rule on it, it's a challenge of redistricting, just like the Democrats are doing on 50. It's the same kind of template. It's probably where they got it. There's a challenge on that. If the Supreme Court rules against it, then it's pretty much going to kill 50, null and void. Now, Schwarzenegger it's interesting. Arnold Schwarzenegger is he's out of political retirement technically, and he's making a big deal about it. He's been doing the talk show circuits. He has a new book as well, so it's interesting with him. And I'll just say it could be that he's just trying to sell his book, and it's a great opportunity. And it could be they timed it right, and they're like, let's get the book out. You can go on a book tour, because he's being very adversarial. But I think he's putting his money behind it too, because I got a flyer. I don't check my mail often because I get everything comes electronically. So I check my paper box like once or twice a week, maybe every 3 weeks. I'm sorry, once every 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And I got 5 flyers today that I didn't know came on 50. They're all no on 50, which is interesting. Now I was registered independent. I switched Republican, so maybe they still, because it's interesting that they would send me no's, because I'm already an automatic. I'm not a yes, right? It would be like you'd want to send me the yeses to try to flip my vote, but they could still have me as an independent, so they're hitting me with that. But what's interesting is I didn't get any yes on no. I got all no on no. It's just weird to me. But anyway, one of the flyers is a Schwarzenegger flyer, and it's got his face on it. It's very big. It's well done. And out of the 5 flyers, it's the one I'm like, this is a winner. The rest are just terrible. Like, they're just bad. They were done by, I think, the Republicans, like the California Republicans. And the one that Schwarzenegger was on was a different like pack or whatever. But that one was like very cheerful and bright. It had Schwarzenegger looking really good. His hair is very dyed, though. I think maybe it's for TV, but it's not something that works for him, but whatever. But the other flyers were really dark and red and depressing, and they had pictures of Gavin looking like a troll. I understood where they were going with it, but just weren't as effective, and they were too wordy and too busy. But Schwarzenegger's was cool. But anyway, Schwarzenegger's been going and talking about 50 as though it's a scam. He's saying it's a scam. And it's intriguing to me, because I thought, okay, a lot of Democrats like Schwarzenegger. Hollywood loves Schwarzenegger. He can do no wrong, right? Even with the scandals, they love him. Netflix last year did an incredible documentary on him. It was kind of like, and he's done. I think he's on season 3 of a Netflix show. He's doing stuff. Schwarzenegger's doing stuff. So, and then obviously he has his fitness stuff. He's writing books. He's killing it on the podcast circuit. So Schwarzenegger is not retired from being Schwarzenegger, being a celebrity. But as far as the politician's concerned, he's back on the politician thing, just trying to leverage that. Like, for example, he's got some special boots that were made for him that has the governor's seal, and he wears those boots like alligator skin or something. He wears them for official stuff. He was on Bill Maher wearing those boots and looking like an older, a governor, like a former governor. So he's using that clout to try to kill 50. So I want to show you a little thing on Instagram. It's a clip that it's Schwarzenegger on CNN. And if the audio is not good, I apologize. Sometimes the audio doesn't go through. I'll check it as we're going. But I wanted to play this for you, because it's an interesting conversation with Schwarzenegger talking about 50 and how he feels about it. And let me turn that sound on, and here we go.
In terms of what should happen nationwide when it comes to redistricting?
Well, first of all, in California, it's a big mistake to go and to dismantle and to basically kind of get rid of the independent redistricting commission under the auspices of we got to have more power than the Republicans. And we got to fight Trump. Because, yes, they are fixing the elections in Texas.
I'm sorry, the hair just doesn't. I'm sorry, I get distracted by the hair dye. It is I got to say, it's a very good dye job. It's probably $600 to do this. And it's very good. But see the contrast? I'm sorry, I'm bad. but I think but it could be for his TV stuff too.
But that does not mean that California should fix the elections
California.
because of that. Two wrongs don't make a right.
So Schwarzenegger is saying this is a fix. They're rigging. He's straight up saying he's rigging the election, which is crazy to me that it's not getting more publicity, because he is one of the most famous people on the planet Earth. Schwarzenegger is. In other countries, they literally worship the ground he walks on. And Bill Maher even had him on. Like, he's been on every CNN. He's going on every platform he can saying this is a scam and it's not getting play. And it's really amazing to me, because it's the media covering for Newsome. Newsome has a lot of power with the media because they simply have Trump derangement syndrome, I guess, or they don't want JD Vance to win, who's clearly going to run. I don't see anybody who could beat him in a primary. He'll be like, the MAGA movement will continue depending on how it goes through Vance. So it's interesting to me why Schwarzenegger is being relegated to just a voice when he used to be the guy.
It's that simple. And whenever the politicians say that we're only doing this temporarily with the redistricting commission, with the independent one, there's no such thing with politicians and temporarily.
Interesting. Do you know who that is? You should know. That's Tony Blair, former prime minister of the UK. This is a powerful, I'll say globalist. This guy's very good friends with a number of our politicians, our famous politicians, and he's hanging with Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger is a globalist as well. It's something that you may not understand. He is a Californian. He is a celebrity and entertainer. He does believe in powers of the people. That's one of the things that Schwarzenegger continues to believe in, that you really don't see that with a lot of politicians. I mean, I think Trump it's populism. It's ultra populism, right? The people are in charge. It's about the people, versus, okay, I'm going to do what the people want me to do, but if I think there's a different choice, I'm going to make it. That's a populist where, okay, the people don't drive everything you do. But Schwarzenegger is a purist when it comes to being a populist, and he continues that mantra. It's interesting to me that not many people, I would think that it's a winning mantra, especially for independents. And he is an extreme moderate and very with the climate. He's got a lot of left wing, I guess, beliefs that he's a true believer in, that most people wouldn't go with. And because of a lot of that, he did some things with California that was not the best legislation wise. But anyway, my point is, he's a globalist. Schwarzenegger is looking at really trying. I believe this is going to be a platform for him to get into like world peace and trying to settle conflicts, and kind of doing what Clinton did as he was getting older, and what Trump's doing now. Clearly Schwarzenegger has the power, and he's got a lot of political power still worldwide, not so much here in the nation, because we're just like, whatever, because that's what we do with our politicians, especially when they lose and there's scandals like he had. But I do think this is I think Schwarzenegger is an opportunist in an interesting way. I think he's going to build off of this, because I was wondering, why would you put yourself out there and attack Newsome, right? And now he's saying the politicians are liars. It's not a temporary thing. If you read your ballot, it does say this is a temporary thing, which will bounce back in 2036 or something. It's the time's on there. And that's interesting that it says it's temporary, but it's not. I agree with Schwarzenegger.
Have you ever seen a tax that stopped? When they say this is just temporary,
that's a line they practice.
It is permanent. I am for the power of the people, not the parties. And therefore I say vote no on Proposition 50.
Interesting. The power of the people. That's his thing. Power of the people, vote no on 50. He is explicitly coming out and saying they're liars, vote no.
Because when I talked to Governor Newsome about
Of course you did.
this and about your conversation with him about this,
Because you want to start trouble.
he told me that he said to you, if we are not successful that there will be no more independent redistricting, the whole thing's over.
Well, what?
He has no faith in President Trump in order to do fair.
And this was CNN. Let's just show pictures of Gavin being so and you've got this guy always there. Little Wiener, he's always there trying to be Gavin's little buddy.
Elections if Republicans have all control, and he says that it is temporary. Do you don't buy what Governor Newsom's saying?
Of course not. Look, I've said there in Sacramento.
He said, of course not. I do not buy when he's calling Newsom a liar.
I've listened to the politicians for 7 years. They are not interested in giving any power to the people. The only interest that they have is to take power away from the people and grab it themselves.
And why isn't anyone listening to that message? That's a really important message. It's a really important message. It is the truth. Think what you want about Schwarzenegger, but he's the only person that's been able, here's where I'm going with this. He's the only person that's been able to articulate 50 in a way that you can understand it. Because I'm playing this for you, because once you hear this, you can't walk away and say you're confused about what 50 is about. He's breaking it down, I think, in a very perfect, simple way for voters to understand.
So this gives them a great opportunity by saying, oh, we have to fight Trump. Let's go and get rid of our democratic principles. Imagine to fight for democracy and to get rid of your democratic principles. It doesn't make any sense. And plus, we have so many homeless people in California.
Okay, I'm interested to see where he veers, because I only watched this once, so I forgot what he said. I'm interested to see why he's pivoting to homelessness. It could be because that's a major failing of Newsom, like that they're ignoring. Like you remember last year it was all about homeless, and earlier this year. Now, and usually around the holidays, that does become an issue that everyone uses as a political football. And it'll be interesting to see if it's actually covered on Newsom like it was covered last year, because the papers they were hitting it. Now, they weren't hitting him, they were hitting the administration and the NGOs and the people that got this money, but he was taking some heat on it. So it's interesting. But where I was going with this is how Schwarzenegger articulated it. Again, it is such a winning way to articulate things. So, and he's almost like campaigning, right? Technically he is. So I was intrigued. I'm like, what is Schwarzenegger up to when he's campaigning against 50 like nobody else is? And it's really interesting to me, because what if he had spearheaded this thing from the very beginning and did press conferences like he really wasn't trying hard, right? Because he didn't do press conferences. He went on all the major shows, but also to promote his book. So I think that took a little bit of the edge off, because when I saw him promoting his book, I'm like, okay, well, he's an opportunist as well. And look, Schwarzenegger knows opportunists. He's one as well, and they all are at that level. So it's interesting that he's trying to point that out. But if he had articulated this and actually became the face of the movement, I think it would have been something that 50 might have. Now, again, I don't want to count my chickens. I shouldn't. I'm not a believer in that. But it looks like 50 will definitely pass. It looks like in less than 19 minutes, they're going to drop the first results. And they may just say, hey, there's enough already. The math doesn't work for Republicans. It's a wrap. But I think it would have been a different outcome if Schwarzenegger had actually really campaigned. He didn't try hard at all, but the message was it's a winning message that moderates would believe in if he had really gone on the campaign trail and campaigned against it. Now, for him, he can do better things with his time, right? And he would be losing money to do it. There's no gain in that for him other than really trying to do something for the people. So I think you can look at this and go, Schwarzenegger is somewhat disingenuous in the sense that if he really cared, he would have. He's worth almost $1 billion. His brand is he's incredibly wealthy. It would have been easy for him to take 2 months and go on the campaign trail and make a difference and make it competitive. But he wasn't willing to be the face of it at that level. It's intriguing to me. And that no one else could have taken that. And that also tells me a lot about California's leadership, California's conservative leadership. It tells me there is none. There is none, because this.
The
Sorry, I talk so much, and I apologize. Hopefully it's not bad podcaster. But my last point here, it's intriguing to me that that's the message. This was the moment. They say meet the moment, which I can't stand, but I'll just say it. We had 2 months to meet the moment, and there was no legitimate conservative Republican person who stood up and said, we're doing this, I'm leading this fight. Because win, lose, or draw, whoever became the face of it, if they were smart enough, they could have given themselves an edge for possibly governor or something like that. But nobody stood up. Kevin Kiley was supposed to be the guy. He said he was going to raise 100 million. I think they raised 5, and I don't even know how much he raised of that. I'm not trying to be critical of him, but I kind of am. It's intriguing to me that he's the one on the hottest seat, and he really didn't do much except fight the party. That's a whole nother podcast. Go to my last podcast. There's deep internal struggles with him and how the party feels about him. But it's just really interesting to me the time. And there's a couple of people who, in my mind, I'm thinking they've already said I'm running for governor. In my mind, it's like this would have been the time to stand up. I understand nobody wants to take the L, right? They don't want to be like they don't want to be the person that loses. But this is something you could lose on and still win. So it just shows me a lack of courage. I'm sorry. Don't be mad, but I just don't think it's courageous. I just don't. I think this was quite the litmus test for the conservative movement in California, and I'm completely convinced if in 18 minutes, 14 minutes, 16 minutes, I've talked a lot. If
do anything.
If this loses, I am thoroughly convinced there is not a red wave. This is not happening. California is a lost cause.
About it, but they're spending $200 million on a special election. I would rather give this money to the homeless people.
He's right. Now, I wouldn't rather give it to anybody. I'd rather leave it in the taxpayer pocket. Fuck you, Arnold. Okay. And it's your problem, baby. You're like, oh, 300 million. No, we're not playing with that. Okay. Because Schwarzenegger left us in debt. So you have a problem spending. And Gavin has serious debt problems now because he has a problem with spending, and the California legislature doesn't understand how that works because they're a bunch of lunatics just blowing money on crazy projects and laundering it and building a $1 billion addition to that's something that is just, there's so many things to talk about with California legislation. But no, Arnold, now I know where he's going with the homeless thing. I appreciate you talking about that like you're altruistic, but we've spent too much money on that problem. So I say, let's not spend any fucking money on anything. A fake election that's rigging districts or a homeless problem that's just not really being solved by money. We keep throwing money at stuff. I know he's making an example of a better way to spend it, and that makes people go, oh, that's well, yeah, great. But I would say, why don't we not spend it? That's just the best way to go for the people working hard every day to pay these outrageous taxes.
They'd really need it rather than to the politicians. Let's give the money to the people rather than the politicians.
Or if you want to give it to the people, give everyone a tax rebate. Give everyone a tax break for a year or so. Or, give them all the 300 million of it, whatever, right? There's better ways to do this than let's find another way to blow it. I'm splitting hairs here, but Schwarzenegger's message, half of it is a great message. The second part's a loser, but.
This is what this is all about. That's why I'm against Proposition 50. That's why I always will say nothing against Newsome. We don't have a fight over this at all.
Now, this is interesting. Nothing against Newsome. Now, earlier on Bill Maher, he said Newsome was running a scam, and it was last week, and called him a liar. Interesting how he changed his tune, right? And look at Tony Blair. Tony Blair's like, where are we going here? He looks very nervous. Schwarzenegger is just like Trump in a lot of ways. Schwarzenegger can say something way off the rails, man, and have to figure it out. In most cases, instead of Trump will say something very bombastic. And like today, he tweeted something that was like, when I read it, I'm like, what? Okay, what? Apparently it works for Trump. But but Schwarzenegger goes word salad. He goes word salad. That's just, it's awkward word. Like what? So I can see why Tony Blair's like, where are we going here? But yeah, so then Schwarzenegger's backing off of Newsome. You know why? Because Newsome's going to win. He really thought, I think he thought when he said Newsome was a con artist, essentially, or he called him a liar, I think, or said it's a lie, but he said it's a scam, which is the same thing. And he was hitting Newsome hard. Now he's like, oh, nothing against the guy running the scam, but it's a scam. See, he has a winning message, but he's not the guy.
Oh, yeah, because you guys met. What was that like?
You guys met. So Newsome picked up the phone when Arnold started criticizing him, and he said, let's have a meeting. See how he slipped that in, and watch Arnold go.
It was a wonderful meeting. He told me what he felt.
Wonderful meeting. We're all fine. We're great friends. But that's the game. We're all friends.
I told him, I said, I totally get it.
I totally get it. But you're telling us you don't? See, now I don't think he expected that question.
Because
this
is what you need to do.
This is what you, what?
Be the leader of the party?
No, first of all, he's not the leader of the party. Gavin Newsom's not the leader of the Democrat Party. There's 3 other Democrats who would think they're the leaders. And let me tell you this. Mamdani winning today.
I totally get it, but I'm not a party person.
I think he thinks he's the
I'm a people's person.
Party.
Are you going to be campaigning anymore? What's your role? Are you going to be doing interviews, going around the state, doing rallies?
That's an interesting question, right? That's an interesting question.
What's your role in this campaign?
No, I have no plan. Or
apparently,
what I wanted to do really is to come out and to say to the people, hold it. Before you go and vote, you should know this is a scam. And vote no on Proposition 50.
What's your...
Okay. Interesting, right? Intriguing. Oh, hey, this Wendy's Mindy's back. Sorry. I got surprised. I said Wendy, but it's me. I'm my bad. I got all these things in my head. Mindy, talk to us.
That's okay. Okay, I only can go for a few minutes because at 8 o'clock I have to go into the vote center, and if I don't go into 8 o'clock, I get locked out.
Okay.
So yeah. So, but it's there are people here voting. My team. Yeah, I haven't. Hold on, I haven't seen Ned yet. Maybe when I don't. Ned's. Yeah, Ned's the only one that I know. It's not.
Top secret.
Yeah, they went into signature verification. Yeah. I'm doing an interview right now with my friend Jason Daniels here. Great. Part of my team just came out. Great. John Guerrero, who's a expert on analysis of elections, and he's part of our Itaka team. And so I was just quickly answering a question here. And so we're going to have our 2 teams here, as I said earlier, one outside the building watching the bags coming in. I'll be down here. I asked the Registrar of Voters, Deputy Assistant Registrar of Voters, some questions already about tomorrow. She said there's not going to be any processing going on tomorrow. Okay. I'll check on that.
Are they going to work all night or not?
Well, they'll work until, the way it usually works is they'll process all the ballots that have been voted today, in-person voting today.
Okay.
And they'll tabulate the mail-in ballots that have already come into the vote center for the last month. They'll have the tabulation of those and the in-person voting. Any mail-in ballots that were done today, they will be processed on Thursday.
Okay.
Through the tabulators, and then all week they'll be tabulating all the other votes, mail-in ballots that come in marked before November 4th. Sorry, before November 4th. Okay. So supposedly there's nothing going to happen here tomorrow. I'll double check. They could not tell me when the plus mail will be processed because, again, they say, well, we don't know what time we're going to get it. But I don't accept that for one reason, which is that in previous years, they said, okay, at 9:30, we'll do whatever plus mail we have. Now, like last election, they say they can't tell us.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So that's the the process now. So that's what they'll count tonight. And you'll get everything of the mail-in ballots that have already been sent to the county centers and the in-person ballots from today. And
Okay.
then they'll stop whenever that's done. If it's 10 o'clock, because there's not a lot, it'll be 10 o'clock. I've seen it go when it's a big election to midnight or 1 a.m.
I
But
see.
since this is the only thing on the ballot, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not holding my phone right. Not used to this.
No problem.
um,
No, you're great. It's fine.
yeah, yeah. So that's what I can tell you. There's still some few voters coming in, voting, and then in a few minutes, once 8 o'clock hits, they lock the doors.
Right. Yeah. They will
So,
lock if you're trying to run up, they will lock you out. So,
right,
one last question. So if
sure.
someone rushes in and they get their ballot in there in that building, will they count that one before 8, or is that counted like on Thursday?
No, if it's in person, if they ask for a paper ballot to vote in person, it should be counted tonight. If it's a
Cool.
mail-in ballot, which they're dropping off as a mail-in ballot, then it won't get counted tonight.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why
Wow.
you never exactly know. It's you can, but it can know a certain amount by the end of the night. But I've seen it often reported one way by the end of this night, and then change. If
Yeah.
a few nights later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But the
yeah,
good
we're
thing is
expecting the
there's going to
first
be,
drop from what they've already counted, right? Throughout the
yeah,
up until
because
you
when
know.
because what happens when you do a mail-in ballot early, they send it to the tabulator, but they just can't run the tabulator with the vote until after 8 o'clock tonight.
Gotcha. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it's 7:54. I'll give you the last word before you got to run in.
Okay. Well, as we said earlier in the interview today, this is gonna be a win-win for us. If we win the no vote, great. If we lose it, tell you what, they did so many illegal things to crash on this Proposition 50. And President Trump is preparing some pretty big lawsuits around this whole mail-in process. And I know there's a lot of other lawsuits that are going down. So this will not end when after they so-called call the vote.
I
So
agree.
I think we're in great shape. I think everybody should stay fighting, stay in the process, get more political than ever, because we're about to take California back.
Okay, I love that. I was just saying I'm feeling kind of down, but you lifted my spirits. You always
Yeah,
lift my spirits. Okay, well, good
yeah.
luck. I'm gonna let you get in there so you don't get locked out. And God bless
Okay,
you. Stay
great.
safe tonight.
God bless you, Jay. God bless you too, Jason. And if you want an update tomorrow, just reach out. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I think we'll cap it tomorrow. We'll do a little recap. I'll reach out.
Okay. Okay, great. God bless you. Take
Okay, take
care.
care. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
And that is Mindy Petchenuk, who is doing the Lord's work out there, and she's a candidate for Oakland mayor for 2026. We've become fantastic friends. Check out, we did a podcast earlier today. We are kind of prepping and getting warmed up. I got the Mindy shirt on, so check that out. She's got some cool swag. Fit really good. It fit really good. And I love t-shirts, as you know. I'm a t-shirt guy. I think I'll wear interesting t-shirts forever. If someone gives me a t-shirt or buys me a t-shirt, uh, how that t-shirt fits me lets me know if they pay attention. Her shirt fit fantastic. It's high quality. Highly recommended. If you want to see what it looks like, and more than one color, comes in red and blue. So check it out. Little commercial there. So again, this is Jason J. Daniel show. My name is Jason J. Daniel. Just doing some election stuff. Look, I talk politics. I talk sports. This is the stuff I love. I've been in politics and local politics for years, not recently, but I decided to start my podcast back up. I took a long hiatus, but last year, it's almost been a year. It'll be a year next Thanksgiving. or December. I'll have to check. It'll be a year, I believe, in December since I rebooted my podcast. Man, I think I've done 100 shows. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I was going to do a special 200th episode, but things are so busy. I forgot. I did a two. Now I'm on 215, 216. So I appreciate you guys for watching. So I'm on X. Follow me on X if you're watching on X. Big crowd on X. Thank you guys. Please subscribe. Follow on X. Doesn't cost you a thing. It's absolutely free. I have true crime interviews we do. We talk true crime, mysteries. I have 4 or 5 really interesting guests lined up. I try to do a lot of interviews because I enjoy that. I want to get past the election, but we do crime. We do San Francisco stuff, which is super interesting. We talk about the fentanyl crisis, the cartels. We have really fun conversations. We talk about nationwide news as well. So right now we're on Twitch. Thanks for watching on Twitch. We're on YouTube. You guys, I see you guys right now. Thank you. We're on Rumble. Jason J. Daniel. You can find me anywhere. And I also have a sports TikTok, Real Jason J. Daniel. Almost 9,000 subscribers. And I did a couple of TikToks this weekend on football. It's just sports, right? And we're pushing like 750,000 views on my page for the weekend. Crazy, 48 hours. Woke up to like 700 comments. Obviously, I can't read them all, but I'm blessed. So it's a lot of fun, but it's just football. So if you're interested in that, jump onto the old TikTok. I do have a TikTok and an Instagram for the show, but I don't do much on it. It's not active. So if you're interested, cool. Jason J. Daniel Show. But you might as well just watch the show, right? I try to put clips on. Now YouTube is different. I have all my sports clips and all my clips, sports interviews, on. I used to be a hairdresser. I guess once a hairdresser, always a hairdresser. But I was in the industry for 8 years. I owned a salon, so I've got hair tutorials, older stuff, and I've got hair guests. So I got everything. And a true crime. I've got a lot of I'm blessed to have interesting friends. So there's the commercial. So, okay. So we're coming on 8 o'clock. So I'm okay. So what I'm going to do is I got my screens in the background. I'm going to go to, let's see here. So we're going to stay on this main screen, but I'm going to jump around to once 8 o'clock hits, the Secretary of State of California, because we have all the results for everything up to this point, except Prop 50. And if you're watching now, you're probably aware of all the results, but I'm going to talk about, let's talk about that while we gear up to see the first dump of info on Prop 50. So I'm going to stay on with you tonight until we get some solid data on that. 8 o'clock, boom. The witching hour, it's 8 o'clock in California. All of the other polls have closed on the East Coast. You know, Mamdani has taken the U.S. mayor race. Pretty crazy. Zohran is the projected winner. They're calling it history in the making. ABC has called it. Let's see here. Let's see if CBS has called it. Let's see here. Yeah, they've called it. We'll jump to those screens, but he has won the race. If you haven't heard, huge win for communism, huge win for socialism. He's a commie. I don't know what else to tell you, and you should not expect me to tell you anything different. The guy's ideas are absolutely bananas. There's no way they can work, especially rent stabilization or rent freeze or whatever they're going to try to do. I don't even know how any of that's going to get passed. It doesn't seem like it's a possibility, but look, I didn't think he could win in the very beginning. I didn't think he could win. Cuomo didn't think he could win. Eric Adams didn't. No one thought he could win, but he won. So there's a lot to be said about that. This is the age of politics that you have not expected. I mean, this is really just the age of the unexpected in politics. It's a raw, real. It could be essentially the first social media age, the social media age of elections. I'm not really sure how to put it, because one of his strengths, Mamdani's strengths, was the fantastic social media campaign. It was pretty crazy. I watched a lot of his stuff online, and his stuff was going viral across the nation because of its mastery of catching your eye. And apparently, according to from what I'm nationwide reading and hearing, and the stuff I ingest, he hired a crack team of young cats to take his social media to the next level. And he's a star. That's the one thing that you got to also look at, is he's a superstar, and this solidifies it. And I'm not gonna, worship the guy, but I'm gonna be real and say this is the new thing. A very charismatic social media candidate. This is the new thing. Everybody else is old in comparison. They look old and slower. I'm sorry, I'd have to say they look out of touch, and they're too serious. And I think that was one of his strengths. He just didn't look like he took it too serious. And I love that about that style of campaigning. So, look, I think it's a real dangerous thing to have a communist or a socialist, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same, really. Somebody of that political ideology in the mayor's chair. I think that's super dangerous. I would be so uncomfortable if I was a New Yorker, but it is what it is. And he ran one of the best campaigns people have seen in a long time, especially for a Democrat. But here's the thing, he's not a Democrat. He's a socialist. He won because he's a socialist. He won because he's the new thing. Sometimes the new thing wins. Sometimes a Coke Zero is good until you start realizing there's no Coke in this. It's just zero. And that's what you're going to get with him. I mean, the truth is, I don't understand I don't live in New York, clearly, but I don't understand the promises. I don't understand why people would be excited about free bus. Let's hypothetically, yes, if you're riding the bus all the time, it's expensive. I get that. But why would a majority of New Yorkers come out and vote for that? That doesn't make any sense to me, because that just creates problems. Free stuff creates problems. That's why a capitalistic, I guess you could say a capitalistic model is the best way to go for the people when you're trying to keep order, keep people safe, and make people earn what they get. And also, you have to pay for these things, right? Maybe they're going to cut all sorts of radical spending. I don't know. He's never been asked, how are you going to do these things? Everyone thinks that he's going to have the state legislature, as part his friends, the New York, the boroughs, his friend, the governor. Everybody thinks, okay, he's going to be part of this. They're assuming, I think, he's going to be part of this New York political power structure. AOC as well, right? She endorsed him. Bernie Sanders, AOC and Sanders are socialists as well. I'm not. Bernie's a commie, but AOC is more of a socialist. Let's just call them the social bunch. These are socialists as well. So I'm not saying a socialist can't get elected, but no one's ever put a socialist in the biggest city. I mean, in modern times that we know of, in the biggest city, probably the biggest city in the nation, at least. I mean, LA. Yeah. I mean, just it's metropolis. So you know where I'm going with that. This is going to be a social experiment. That's going to be absolutely bananas. Okay. So I'm monitoring it's 6 minutes. I've been riffing for 6 minutes. So I'm monitoring the state website for 50, nothing yet. Let's see here. Let's jump. Let's do some screen share. I know you love that shit. Let's jump to ABC. Okay, so they're still excited about Mamdani. Let's jump to the main screen here.
And
let's see what
obviously
they're doing
that
here.
bode well for the Yes campaign in this race tonight.
Okay, here we go.
And
okay,
then
here
we're
we
going
go.
to continue to take a look at what the reason
Okay, so
was.
they're talking
and
about
one of the
50
reasons
live.
was
Let's
behind
tune in on
folks'
this.
vote in California tonight. 51% say that they voted yes on this ballot initiative to oppose Donald Trump. We know that he has been at the center of the pressure campaign that we've seen in Republican-led states to redraw districts in favor of Republicans. 8% said.
Okay, I'm going to turn off the volume because I can't stop it. Hopefully you can see that. on this side. Here we go. So let me take off Mamdani. Okay, so let me take that banner off. Okay, so they are saying, ABC News is saying right now, updated for at 8:04, they're saying that the votes for yes so far from what is being posted. Now they have people located in all of these, at the state of California who's getting this info. And so I think it's probably obviously verifiable. That is a huge margin at this point. Now this is 1%. That's huge. That's huge. So there's going to be a point where they're going to say it's pretty much a slam dunk. They haven't called it yet. Let's refresh it and see if they have anything new. Still 1%. Okay, here we go. All right, looks like they're calling 2%. They're reporting
uncharted territory.
like
right, once a decade or in response to some sort of court order. And what we have seen across the country is really a partisan redrawing of congressional districts in different places.
And likely to possibly continue. And of course, Rick, if I can take this back to you as well, because this has been, it was a risk by Governor Gavin Newsom to do this. A lot of people thought there's no way this could happen.
Look,
but it also
put his tongue in his cheek. Rick, all excited. Look at Rick.
As someone who we know has, presidential ambitions. It's
Come
a
on,
win
Rick.
for him personally
Bring it home,
as well.
map guy.
Oh boy, and what a risk it was. I mean, to go forward with this, as
so
Avery just covered, the voters in California said they want this nonpartisan commission. It was a key reform that Governor Schwarzenegger put forward. And Newsom said, you know what, the reform's all fine, but I'm going to fight fire with fire. And he's doing the same thing with Donald Trump every day. Then he did something just a couple of weeks ago that I have never seen in my lifetime of covering politics. He said, stop sending us money. We have enough. We're doing okay.
When did he say
how
that?
bad it would be if he loses after that. But I said a moment ago, this might be the.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't really do it when they start. Again, I have Gavin derangement syndrome. I'm being honest. I can't do it when they start telling me that Gavin is the greatest politician ever. I can't do that. Okay, so let's go to. I'm sorry if you can tune in if you want to do it. Okay, so let's go to the Sacramento Bee. Usually they have a pay. The Sacramento Bee. Now I hate the Sacramento Bee. I couldn't hate a newspaper anymore. They are scumbags, but we're gonna go there because they're gonna have the results. Okay, so they have live results here. Let's see here. Can we click? Is it clickable? Let's hopefully we don't get the paywall because I wouldn't pay for it anyway. Okay, live results. Let's see here. Okay, state. Okay, nothing. Okay, obviously. Oh, so I have nothing yet. So there's nothing right here yet. So we'll leave that up. Apparently ABC News knows more than us. So ABC News is saying essentially it's 3-1, 75% to 25%. ABC has two precincts reporting, and we'll go back now that they stopped glossing Newsom. We'll go back.
Which, again, the big win by the Democrats tonight. We've seen Governor Moore get involved again in Maryland, Governor Pritzker in Illinois. All is said and done. Maybe the Republicans end up netting 3, 4, 5 seats, but it could have been and would have been a lot worse without what just happened in California.
And with the margin so slim.
Oh, so they're saying what just happened. They're
every
calling
single
it.
seat. I mean, it is wild to remember just how close things are.
Okay, so what he's talking about, if you're not aware of it, California is not the only one in Texas. They're not the only states doing this. There's other redistricting that's going on in other states. And so one of the reasons why 50 has not been a big deal, obviously, for the Republicans nationwide, is when you do all the math, Republicans will gain seats in other states. They don't need California. That's why I think Kevin Kiley is kind of cooked in California.
How did he respond? Was he expecting that this was going to be the outcome?
Absolutely, he was expecting. As Rick Klein pointed out, he actually, since we spoke, he told people to stop donating money to this cause, donate it to other Democratic causes.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. ABC, you're making me sick. I can't do the worship of Newsom. I just can't because he's such an idiot and he's such a toxic motherfucker. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. We got something. We got California. This is Secretary of State of California election results. We got some results here. 5.5 reporting. Okay, here we go. We've got yes on 50, yes votes, 436,000, no votes, 3. That's That's a 10% margin. Not close at all. Okay. So let's see. What is our, okay. This is partial. This is 1,000 out of 1,800 precincts. Let's see here. Other links, county results. I'm not necessarily concerned with that, but 5.5 of the precincts partially reporting. They're giving it a 10% margin. Let's refresh it and see if there's any difference. No. Okay. So that's pretty big. So there's going to be a point to where if that gap doesn't close, it's going to be clear that it is a win for Gavin. But that's early. That's really early. That's really interesting to me. Okay, so we can't do ABC anymore. They're making me crazy. I'm refreshing Sacramento B. Let's see what they still have nothing. And then let's see CBS. Let's go to CBS. And let's see your CBS News. And there's also, you might be asking, why am I going to the major three? There's other sources online, but these major three networks, their websites are pretty dope. And it gives you a lot of data that helps you understand. Okay, interesting. They have 22% in. That's interesting. Can you see? Yeah, you got it. Okay, cool. I don't quite, when I screen share, I have to flip tabs because I don't quite see it. Okay. So we've got now, we went from 2% to 5% to 22% on CBS, 22% precincts reporting. And I just refreshed. Let's see, who's this? I just refreshed. I'm getting some calls here. It's blown up. I just refreshed the California website and no changes. Okay, so there's still okay. Let's see. So let's go to CBS. They're saying 24%. This is refreshing in real time. Yes, 60%. No, 40%. Okay, so we went from a 10% margin to like a 20%. It looks cooked. It just we kind of knew it. It looks cooked. Let's see here. California voters. Oh, okay. Here we go. CBS predicts 50 passes. Okay. So CBS is now. No, we don't. Do not notify me of anything from you. Okay. So they are projecting, and that's 14 minutes in. This is what we do now. This is what we do, and it is what it is. There's math involved in this, and usually they can do this. They will do the math on how many ballots are out there, how many Republicans, how many Democrats, how many ballots have been. You might be wondering, how do they do this? They drop the first amount of ballots, and then they look at, okay, what's the margin of the leading, what's leading and what's losing. Then they look at all the possible scenarios with all the ballots that still need to be turned in, because if you're not registered, they shouldn't be counted. So they can take that math and they can go, okay, if the Republicans or the no gets more votes, is that probable with what's left on the table? And that's how they can predict. So again, 30% in now. Yes is 63. No is 36. It's a runaway. So I don't think anybody is shocked. It is disappointing. Now, we had Mindy on. She's still amped. Mindy is running for mayor of Oakland. She's doing election watch in Alameda. She's committed, man. You guys think you're committed. For her, it's a sacrifice. She's on top of it, and she said that that she's not going to be disappointed, because she thinks that there's going to be some court challenges, and it's going to bring this to the forefront, and it's going to bring attention from the Fed to what California needs to fix this problem. And that's totally a possibility. And like I said earlier, a lot of people were kind of like, okay, 50 may not be a big deal if it passes, and I think that's why the heat came off of it. Gavin Newsom wins big, and so there's your headline. It's interesting. So let's take a look at this, and then I want to check in on a few more things. I want to see about Jay Jones. It looked like he was leading last time I checked. So voters past 50. It says here, CBS is projecting 50 is going to pass. Okay, interesting. The state website. Oh wow. Okay, state website is giving us 11.5. I'm on the other tab here, and they're saying 60% to 42. So it's a 58% to 40. It's still about it's a huge. This is technically a landslide. California voters passed 50. A measure backed by Newsome, not backed, created by Newsome and jammed through. And legislative Democrats, of course, they're guilty too. And it says the measure is intended to make several Republican-held congressional districts in California more favorable to Democrats. And there you go. So here's the live results: 35%. Let's refresh it. 35%, 62.7 to 37.3. Okay. So here's they're giving you the counties they've counted. Now, these are all obviously very blue, right? These are either not counted or haven't been turned in yet. Oh, you have Kevin Kiley talking about the big loss he took today. I wonder if that's live. Let's check on that. This is live. Interesting. Interesting. So Kevin Kiley doesn't focus on the party. Well, that's what he did all the way up until this. It's clear that the reports that he's fracturing from the GOP and they didn't support him, this is verifiable. I'm okay, interesting. What's good for your area is to not let Gavin Newsom win and change your district, dude. But apparently you don't have that. It just makes me wonder, how much power does he have? Like Kevin Kiley acted like he had a lot of power in Congress. This shows him to be the biggest loser. I'm sorry. And in fact, this is the last thing I do is go on and talk about losing the night you lose big. It's crazy. And then say, well, I don't follow the party. Yeah, clearly. Now, I think he's moderating because he wants to run for governor. That's what I think he's doing, because you have to be a moderate to even sniff the governorship in California. Technically, that's what Schwarzenegger did. But I mean, he's different. Kevin Kiley's no Schwarzenegger, but it's interesting to me. $65 and $80 is a big area in Placer County where he's at. Those are two highways that are it's very bad at rush hour. It's terrible. And so he got money to help, I guess, fix that because it's federal, because it's highways. But that's going to be like a 5-year project. So he'll be out of office probably before it's done. Jesus Christ. Can you talk about how big of a loser you are? Really? You don't care. He doesn't care because he's mad at the GOP because they didn't support him and he didn't support Trump. They're just, Jesus. Really? I've never heard a politician say, well, we'll see if they want to hire me again. I'm going to be an you know what this sounds like? It sounds like remember when Schwarzenegger got his ass kicked when he did his redistricting? Or I'm sorry, he did his initiatives. Remember, Schwarzenegger did the same thing, raised all this money. It was a long time ago, but you watch the Netflix special. He raised all this money. He got all these signatures. He forced, I think it was 3 or 4 initiatives to try to union bust and do all these things. He got totally defeated. Like he did what Gavin did, but on a larger, dumber scale. He made a big election thing out of it. All the unions started fighting him. They had all this time to campaign. He lost, and then the next day he came out. He lost huge. A lame duck executive, a lame duck governor, because he was screwed because he didn't have the legislature. And he walked out and said, I'm going to moderate. I'm going to make deals. I'm an independent. This is exactly what Schwarzenegger did when he got his ass kicked. I don't know if it works. Oh, sorry. I was now we're at the news. I'm sorry. Now we're at the weather. Okay. Cause I was pausing him too much. Anyway. So interesting. So Kevin Kiley, that was a treat for me to actually have a little Kevin Kiley commentary to see what he looks shell-shocked to me. He looks shell-shocked to me. Way disappointed, man. It's way disappointed. I don't know what to say, because he keeps saying, I'm going to do what's right for the voters, but he didn't fight this. And he didn't have a lot of time. And Gavin Newsom, showed it. Power is power. Remember, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, this is for you guys. I'm not going to play the clip because I'd have to find it. But in season 1, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you've watched it more than once. Remember the scene where Littlefinger is in like the rose garden of the castle, and Cersei walks up to him, and Littlefinger had found out her secret. She had a very terrible, dark secret that could flip the entire kingdom over and essentially ruin. I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, Game of Thrones, one of the greatest shows in history. So Littlefinger is like, he's the spy, right? And he's the politician spy. And it's all politics, Game of Thrones, right? So he knows her secret, and she's got these. She's always Cersei is she's the queen, and so she's got heavily armed guards everywhere she goes because people hate her, right? She's that kind of queen. She's got power, doesn't care. She's walking around. He comes up to her and he's like, "Hey," because he's in the royal. He's part of the royal thing. He's on their council, and he's like, basically says to her, "Hey, I know your secret, so I'm leveraging you on a thing." And she goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Knowledge is power." And she goes, "Really?" And she goes, and the guards surround him, and she goes, "Cut his throat." They pull out a knife, and right when they, like, without missing a beat, and she goes, "Stop." And he's like terrified because they've got him. And she goes, "No, power is power." That's the lesson Kevin Kiley and California Republicans learned tonight. You think knowledge is power? Gavin Newsom showed you power is power. That's politics. So we'll wrap it up. It's 8:25 California time. We have everything we know. Oh, Jay Jones. What happened to Jay Jones? Mamdani. Mamdani's talking. Let me go to Mamdani. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to this.
Who still has to drive his cab 7 days a week. My brother, we are in City Hall now.
Interesting.
This victory is for all of them. And it's for all of you.
No, it's not. Not for me.
More than 100,000 volunteers.
He's charismatic.
Who built this campaign into an unstoppable force.
Oh, really? Relax.
Because of you, we will make this city one that working people can love and live in again.
They already do, dude. Wall Street doesn't care. Well, he's acting like he's
every
saved
door
New York.
knocked, every petition signature earned, and every hard-earned conversation, you eroded the cynicism that has come to define our politics.
No, they haven't. It's made it more cynical. There's more cynicism.
Now I know
cynical
that I have asked for much from you over this last year.
You've asked them to just vote for you for free bus fare.
Again, you have answered my calls.
Your call to what?
But I have one final request. New York City, breathe this moment in.
Okay.
We have held our breath for longer than we know.
How? What?
We have held it in anticipation of defeat. Held it because the air has been knocked out of our lungs too many times to count.
How?
Held it because we cannot afford to exhale.
What?
Thanks to all of those who sacrificed so much, we are breathing in the air of a city that has been reborn.
Breathe some air, baby.
To my campaign
That's what you're gonna give them, air. You're
who
giving them
believed
nothing.
when no one else did.
Let's everybody breathe.
And who took an electoral project and turned it into so much more.
Electoral project.
I will never be able to express the depth of my gratitude.
Listen, they're
You
starting
can
to like
sleep now.
dwindle. You can sleep now. Oh yeah,
To
you've
my
already put them to
parents,
sleep, baby.
Mama and Baba,
Woo!
you have made me into the man I am today.
A nepo
I
baby
am
that hasn't
so
worked a
proud
job in his
to
life.
be your son. And to my incredible wife, Rama,
Who I'm mentioning last. She's so incredible. I'm going to talk about her last.
Hayati, there is no one I would rather have by my side in this moment and in every moment.
What?
To every New Yorker, whether you voted for me, for one of my opponents, or felt too disappointed by politics to vote at all, thank you for the opportunity to prove myself worthy of your trust.
Dude, it's been 2 hours.
I will wake each morning with a singular purpose: to
do
make
nothing.
this city better for you than it was the day before. There are
mentioning
many
crime.
who thought this day would never come.
Is he mentioning
Who
crime?
feared that we would be condemned only to a future of less.
Is he mentioning drugs?
With every election consigning us simply to more of the same.
Same what?
And there are others who see politics today as too cruel for the flame of hope to still burn.
Who writes this stuff? Too cruel
New
for the
York.
flame of hope.
We have answered
Here we
those
go.
fears.
Obama, I get a hope and change. Good hope and change.
Tonight we have spoken in a clear voice. Hope is alive.
Hope for what? Free bus fare?
Hope is a decision that tens of thousands of New Yorkers made day after day.
Hope is a decision?
Volunteer shift after volunteer shift, despite attack ad after attack ad.
They weren't that.
More than a
it was you
million
doing
of
your own
us
PR. Was it
stood
your own
in our
attack ad?
churches, in gymnasiums, in community centers, as we filled in the ledger of democracy.
It's word salad.
And while we cast our ballots alone, we chose hope together.
Woo! We're getting worn out by this.
Hope over tyranny.
Just end it.
Hope over big money and small ideas.
Woo!
Hope
You took big money,
over
dude.
despair.
Woo!
We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible.
Well, you being elected, no one thought that. That's
And we
true.
won because we insisted that no longer would politics be something that is done to us. Now it is something
Do it
that
to
we
you.
do.
We're gonna do it to you. Free groceries. Oh, I mean, not lower. Remember, he said that today.
Standing before
He
you,
changed the free grocery thing
I
today.
think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru.
Who? I'm sorry. I'm not. No
A moment
disrespect.
comes but rarely in
I don't know who that
history.
is.
When we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance.
The soul of the nation. You're
Tonight
New York,
we have
dude.
stepped out from the old into the new.
Relax.
So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood
This is too much.
about what this new age will deliver.
Relax,
and
dude.
for whom.
He's taking it too
This
serious.
will be an age.
An age of what? An
Where New
age?
Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses
Yeah, you're bringing
for
in
what
a
we
new
are
age.
too timid to attempt.
Well, look, like I said, new social media age is here. Sure, maybe that's it.
Central to that vision will be the most ambitious agenda to tackle the cost of living crisis that this city has seen since the days of Fiorella LaGuardia.
These people cheering don't even know what that
Agenda
means.
will freeze the rents for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants.
Woo! Stabilize my rent.
Make buses fast and free.
Make them fast.
and deliver universal child care across our city.
Look, if he can do that, that would be fantastic. But how's that possible? It's so expensive.
Years from now, may our only regret be that this day took so long to come.
I don't understand that.
This new age will be one of relentless improvement. We will hire thousands more teachers.
What? Where are you going to get
We will
them?
cut waste from a bloated bureaucracy.
Well,
We will work tirelessly to make lights shine again in the hallways of NYCHA developments where they have long flickered.
I'm not sure what that means.
Safety and justice will go hand in hand as we work with
Wait,
police officers
safety
to
and
reduce
justice?
crime and create a department of community safety that tackles the mental health crisis and homelessness crises head on.
Yeah, they're not excited about
Excellence
that.
will become the expectation across government, not the exception.
You are the exception, dude.
In this new age we make for ourselves, we will refuse to allow those who traffic in division and hate to
You haven't
pit
talked
us
about
against
crime,
one another.
dude. What about stopping crime and
In
drugs?
this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light.
Political darkness? You had a Democrat.
Here,
You replacing
we
a
believe in
Democrat.
standing up for those
You're
we
talking
love.
about the Democrat Party. You're saying the
Whether
Democrats
you are an
fuck
immigrant,
things up.
a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down,
I missed that. I was talking. What? What are you talking about?
or anyone else with their back against the wall. Your struggle is ours too. And we will build a city hall that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism. Where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong.
Okay. Not bad stuff there. That's positive.
Not just in the 5 boroughs of this city, but in the halls of power.
Halls of power.
No more will New York be a city where you can traffic in Islamophobia and win an election.
Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. Come on now. We're going here. We're going here.
This new age will be defined by a competence and a compassion that have too long been placed at odds with one another. We will prove
People don't understand
that
it.
there is
What?
no problem too large for government to solve,
First
and
of
no
all, I've
concern
never
too
heard
small
in New York
for it to care about.
there's an Islamic phobia problem.
For years,
I haven't heard that.
Those in City Hall have only helped those who can help
I
them.
mean, he
But on
just got
January
elected.
1st, we will usher in a city
How-
government
how is there
that
a
helps
problem?
everyone.
I guess you could say it is.
Now, I know that many have heard our message only through the prism of misinformation.
You're screaming at me right now.
Tens of millions of dollars have been spent to redefine reality
What?
and to convince our neighbors that this new age is something that should frighten them.
The fact that you're saying this is the new age
As
should
has so
frighten
often
everybody,
occurred,
communist.
The billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that
Your
their
family are
enemies are
millionaires,
those earning
dude.
$20 an hour.
This guy's a million. His family's worth millions, and he's doing
They
this?
want the people to fight amongst ourselves so that we remain distracted from the work of remaking a long broken system.
What are you talking about? What's broken?
We refuse to let them dictate the rules of the game anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm getting exhausted by getting yelled at by this.
They can play by the same rules as the rest of us.
Isn't this interesting? He went from very smiley, very positive
Together,
to
we
this
will usher
mean,
in a
angry,
generation
shouty
of
thing
change.
on the election night that
And
he
if
went.
we embrace
This
this
does not look
brave
like a
new
happy guy to
course,
me. He looks like
rather
a
than
guy on a
fleeing from
mission
it,
to
we can
transform New
respond
York
to
to
oligarchy
communism,
and
which we told you he was
authoritarianism
going to
with
do.
the strength it
This is the
fears,
real
not the
him.
appeasement it craves.
A mean, nasty. He's doing a dictator type.
After
Boom,
all,
boom, boom.
if anyone can show a nation
Screaming how you
betrayed
can't
by Donald
stop us,
Trump
it's a new
how to
age.
defeat him,
It's a
it is the
communist
city
thing.
that gave rise to him.
We're going to beat Trump now. Give rise to him. Beat the devil.
And if there is any way to terrify a despot, It is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power.
He's talking like a dictator would talk. We're going to dismantle a despot.
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
Interesting. It's all about Trump.
So Donald Trump.
Then get into it.
Since I know you're watching.
Oh, here we go.
I have 4 words for you.
Jesus Christ.
Turn the volume up.
This is a smug motherfucker. But he won, so he deserved to be smug. But this whole I'm a sweet, innocent guy, this is what you're seeing now. Mean, nasty, smug, dictator style, screaming and chanting, shaking his fist. Shaking his fist at you.
Because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants.
But we're going to come after rich people.
We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks.
Oh, Wall Street's going to love that shit.
We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed.
Who doesn't have rights as a worker in New York? I mean, you're acting like it's the 30s.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants.
Look at how shouty
and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Well, most mayors of major cities have an immigrant past, so chill out. You're not the only one. That's not some unique thing.
So here
governors are.
President Trump, when I say this, to get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
I'm kind of like, it's kind of surreal that this lunatic is doing this right now. It's surreal to me.
Expectations will be high.
Oh, I'm sure it is, because you're being a fucking dictator with your speech here. Look how smug he is.
A great New Yorker once said that while you campaign in poetry, you govern in prose. If that must be true, let the prose we write still rhyme, and let us build a shining city for all.
The shining city thing, that's an Obama thing.
And we must chart a new path.
So he's just copied Obama.
As the one we have already traveled.
Which is fine.
After all, the conventional wisdom would tell you that
I'm
I
exhausted.
am
How long
far
has
from
this
the
been
perfect
going?
candidate. I am young, despite my best efforts to grow older.
Stop talking.
I am Muslim.
Okay.
I am a democratic socialist.
You just right in your face, baby.
And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this.
Right in your face.
And yet, if tonight teaches us anything,
Taught me a lot.
it is that convention has held us back.
Convention. What is it? What do you mean, like
We have bowed at the
normal,
altar of
traditional?
caution, and we have paid a mighty price.
What? Caution?
Too many working people cannot recognize themselves in our party. And too many among us have turned to the right for answers to why they've been left behind.
What?
We will leave mediocrity in our
You hear when
past.
people are confused by what it's like.
No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that Democrats can dare to be great.
You're not a real Democrat.
Our greatness will be anything but abstract.
It's crazy that this guy
It will
now
be
thinks he's a
felt
leader. He's
by
essentially
every
saying, I'm the leader of the
rent-stabilized
Democrat
tenant
Party.
who wakes up on the first of every month, knowing the amount they're going to pay hasn't soared since the month before. It will be felt by each grandparent who can afford to stay in the home they have worked for.
Grandparents are living in
And
their
whose
home.
grandchildren live nearby because the cost of childcare didn't send them to Long Island. It will be felt by the single mother who is safe on her commute and whose bus runs fast enough that she doesn't have to rush school drop-off to make it to work on time.
I don't understand this.
And
Do you
it
even
will
know
be
how that
felt
works? I don't think he understands
when
how
New
that works.
Yorkers open their newspapers in the morning and read headlines of success, not scandal.
Okay, if you
Most
say
of
so.
all, it will be felt by each New Yorker when the city they love finally loves them back.
New York doesn't love you. It's good. Oh, do you need your mommy? Do you need New York to give you a hug, eat some cocoa?
New York, we're going to freeze the... Together, New York, we're going to make buses fast and... Together,
This is like, look,
New
he's
York,
doing a
we're going to
socialist
deliver
rally, guys.
universal...
This is how they do it. They get you
Let the
chanting. They
words
get
we've
you in
spoken
it.
together,
They do the shouty.
the
They
dreams
find a
we've dreamt
villain.
together,
Trump's the devil. We're
become
gonna
the
defeat him.
agenda
Trump
we
has nothing to do
deliver
with fucking New
together.
York, dude. He can't stop what you're doing. Do what you're gonna do. What's Trump gonna?
New York,
what does it have to do with you?
this power, it's yours. This city belongs to you. Thank you.
Oh, he's putting his hand on his heart. Don't put your arm up. Oh, Nazi
Zohran
salute.
Mamdani making
Don't
history
do that.
tonight,
Don't do your
addressing
heart.
his
No, don't raise your hand.
ecstatic
Nazi
crowd
salute.
of
Don't do that.
supporters, saying we have toppled a political dynasty.
Oh, we have toppled the
turned
dynasty.
the page on a politics that
All right,
abandons the many.
I can't do the worship. Oh, okay. I gotta go. I gotta go wash my ears out. I gotta put I gotta put some eye drops in because my eyes are stinging from all that. Okay, well, there you go. Thanks for joining me, man. Long podcast, long night, election night. So Zohran Mamdani wins the New York mayor. I was just giving you some running commentary. That's crazy shit. He's straight out just started shouting at everybody like like a communist. That's what they do. They start shouting at you. They find a villain. They say, I'm just going to change the world and we're going to do this and all this. Like, who wrote that shit? Like, clearly his people are short attention span people. And you could tell, like, woo, woo. You could tell they were getting worn out. And then at the end, he's like making a chant. We're going to do the rent. We're going to do the buses. It's low IQ stuff. But look, I don't live in New York and I'm not concerned about buses. But I am concerned about everything else that affects me as an American, and the stuff that affects them affects us. And, look, hats off to them. Like New York, you made your choice. Now you have a socialist. Rock on. I'm unclear as to when he takes office. Maybe it's January. He will be the story. He will be the story, which is going to be interesting. A lot of Republicans are happy, though, because they're thinking, okay, well, his failures can be a stepping stone into the midterm. There's a lot of positives that people are taking from that. So if you're joining me late, I'm going to wrap up. But here's the headlines are Mamdani wins New York mayor. He just did his socialist speech and screaming at the crowd, shouting at them, "I'm a Democrat socialist." Awesome. We had a little Schwarzenegger versus Gavin conversation. Schwarzenegger rolled over to Gavin, and now Schwarzenegger's trying to be Gavin's friend because Gavin wins. Gavin wins tonight. He knocked it out of the park. Prop 50, my prop will pass. Now, this was an older graphic when I started. Prop 50 will pass, but it will lose in court, most likely not legal. That's what the conventional wisdom is. There's a couple of court cases already out there, one at the Supremes. That would affect 50, but Gavin is a winner tonight. Communism wins tonight. Gavin Newsome stealing democracy wins tonight. The supermajority who has robbed Republicans of power in California wins again tonight. There you go. Kevin Kiley, big loser tonight. District 3 in California. Why is he my big loser? Because Newsome specifically targeted him because all Kylie did was basically run against Newsome instead of focusing on congressional GOP things. Now, Kylie is now saying in an interview tonight, you can back this up. I played it for you. We watched it live. He says, I'm now an independent. I'm going to think independently. That's crazy shit. He's clearly going to flip and leave the party, probably try to run for governor. Who knows? And there you go. New York will go commie. So congrats to all of you guys in New York who don't really understand what you've done, but it will be fun to talk about, I suppose. So God bless you guys. I'm going to wrap. It's almost 9 o'clock. Proposition 50 did pass by a landslide. So hats off to Gavin Newsom. Again, good luck, Kevin Kiley. I've actually invited Kevin Kiley's team on the podcast. I've reached out 3 times. No, they don't respond, which is interesting. I know people who live in his district, reach out to him. They don't respond. Okay. So he keeps talking about, I'm a man of the people, but he rolled over and let this happen. And now he's kind of throwing out the white flag. He's a lame duck tonight. We'll see where that goes. Well, thanks for watching. Jason J. Daniel Show. Have a great night. Please follow me, Jason J. Daniel, on X, everywhere. Also, and you can find me, IG, Rumble, Snap, YouTube. Please subscribe on YouTube. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Really appreciate that. We're working hard to bring you some good podcasts. So thank you for watching. Big numbers tonight. Thank you, guys. We may podcast tomorrow to do a little wrap up, but I'll keep you posted. Follow me on X. You'll be notified when I go live. Also live on Rumble, YouTube. If you subscribe on Rumble, please jump to YouTube and subscribe, or vice versa. It really helps the algorithm, and it helps, keep me going, and I know you guys are watching. So it's amazing. Thank you. By the way, I do a sports TikTok, all sports, real Jason J. Daniel. Almost 800,000 by now. I have 3 TikToks that blew up over the weekend. In 48 hours, almost 800,000 views just on my TikTok. Just sports, no politics. It's a different vibe over there. So check it out if you're into sports or you're on the old TikTok machine. And there you go. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for following and thanks for watching. And if you're new, all new people are welcome. Thank you. I am a Republican. I'm conservative, but I do have some socially moderate views, and I'm try to be open-minded, but I want to be honest, and I try not to judge, just facts, no judgment. Unless you're a communist running New York, I'm going to judge you all day. Have a good one, and thanks for watching. Take care, guys, and appreciate the likes and the retweets. It always goes a long way. Stay safe. God bless you. Thanks for watching.